Hello everyone, it's Isa aka Isa Cooper Nails and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited for this video today as I am also a Sagittarius. I don't know why I said also, I don't know what I'm saying also too. But I did want to add in that I am sorry this video is so late. It's not even nearly, it is Capricorn season. Time ran away from me. I think that's the saying, but either way, I take full responsibility. But I did really want to post the Sagittarius nails because I am biased, obviously, but I just really love how they turned out. So, starting out, I did the prep beforehand. I pretty much always do. So, that includes the shaping the nails, the length, and then adding builder gel and then filing that down so that everything is nice and prepared for the actual design because the design's the interesting bit. If you do want to see a video on how I prep my press-ons for the actual design part, I am more than happy to oblige. But for now, we're going in with this set. So you saw me do the sparkly layer, and that's only going on two layers. Two layers, two nails. God, I can't speak, guys. Did that on two nails, and the reason I said layers is because I'm going for a layered effect on only those two to make them kind of look like crystals. I've done this for pretty much all my astrology sets, linking them to the stone that's to do with that sign. You can see this is the nail that I'm talking about. It's already got that glitter on, and I'm going to alternate the glitter and the cat eye. And because I'm doing press-ons, I just paint on the cat eye polish or like without magnetizing it, because then I just pick up the nail and magnetize it away from the other ones and it just saves me a bunch of time. I have like a round stick kind of magnet, which I generally prefer, but for this one, I like how this magnet, you put it on either side and then I do a little bit on the bottom, but it pretty quickly gives you that kind of velvet effect, whereas the other one, I feel like it takes a lot more work to get the same effect. But any magnet, it really doesn't matter what magnet you're using. I'm just magnetizing basically the whole nail. When I do my zodiac sets, I do a lot of research beforehand. So I make like a Pinterest, what was that? Pinterest board for every single set, and I add all the things. And specifically for the astrology one, so I make sure to get all the info on what element the sign is, what it's ruled by, what the flower associated with it is, what the gem associated with it is. Literally all of that information I will gather. And I'm saying all of that for, well, it's good knowledge to know about the type of set that I'm making. But also, so people might be familiar with the fact that different colors are associated with the different signs. And I do look at that, but I don't always follow it. I will try to include it in some way, shape, or form, but usually for the main color of the set, I go on vibes, and I did do that for this month. I did like a mix. You might be able to tell that the cat eye that I'm applying here is it different to the original blue one because I kind of wanted to, again, have like a layered thing and make more of a specific color. It's more on the blue side, but it has that tealy element to it, I guess. Also, specifically for this set, I am going to admit some choices were more on my personal preference, but I am a Sagittarius, so I thought if there's any time to kind of like lean a bit more on that, it is for this set. So I hope the other Sagittarius is that how it is? Sagittariuses, Sagittarians, whatever the actual, would you believe that I did English language at A level? Because I wouldn't. It's been quite a few years, but you would never be able to tell. Anyway, my point being, I hope the fellow other people who are the Sagittarius sign also like this set as much as I do. But when I was designing it and also when I was looking at it at the end, I do feel like it just gives Sagittarius vibes. So I hope you think so too. Speaking of such, you can see me doing an orange glitter ombre here. I was kind of struggling to figure out how best to do it. You can see I started off trying to sponge it on, but then I decided, you'll see me change over to this, but I decided that putting it onto the end and then using like a thin, very thin nail art brush and using that to ombre it up worked the best. This is kind of like a bit the color, the base is like a jelly color, so I don't know if this will work as well for like more cream colors, but it's what worked best for me. Now, my original point with talking about this is that the orange is meant to represent the fire because Sagittarius is a fire sign, and I did want to include those elements. I also thought the orange just looked so good with this kind of bluey teal that we ended up with. Here you can see me doing the brush method. This just, it was 1,000 times easier than using the sponge. Also, in all my zodiac sets, I do a lot of highly detailed things and lots of different like layers and techniques going on. And this style, you could argue, is a little bit more kind of like just typical nail art. But with this one and the other one that I incorporated orange into, kind of I wanted to go for like to bring about like a flowy vibe, like just like the energy of it, right? Because Sagittarius, like a big thing about like the personality type is like that they're very, we are very like free spirited and travel and adventure and all that. So I wanted something that kind of give that energy rather than like a direct reference. So I did that for a couple nails. You saw the ombre. I'm going to go in with the swirly 3D on top of that. But speaking of adventure and travel and free spiritedness, this now is another kind of representation of that because I am using 3D gel and chrome to create this kind of compass vibe. So the main bit is the compass in the middle. And just in case it isn't obvious enough that it's a compass, I do put a teeny tiny N and S at the top and bottom for north and south just to make it a bit more obvious. I'm not gonna lie, I do feel like I could probably organize the clips in a way that makes a bit more sense, but they're in the order that I made them in, and I left it how it was because I felt like it made enough sense. But we're hopping back over to what I was talking about before with the other orange nail. This is going to be one of those where it's got like the gems in the middle and it's got like the kind of like free shaped gel around it that kind of looks like it's like encapsulating it. If you don't know what I'm talking about already, you will just see me make it. So you don't need to rely on my shoddy explanations. It's quite popular nail design at the moment, and again, I am going off vibes here, and I wanted to include it because I felt like it gave free flowing fun energy vibes to it, and that's why it's on here. This is going to be an isolated chrome moment. So the way that I prep for isolated chrome, I know some people just use a matte top coat. My matte top coats do not hold up for it. So what I do is I put on a shiny top coat and buff away all of, so it's like so it turns matte through you buffing it. I like to do it with a shiny one so that I can see any areas that I didn't get because your chrome will stick to it if you don't get it. And I found that's the best method for me. I'm so sorry that we're going so all over the place, but this is what I was talking about earlier with the swirly 3D on top of that ombre. Again, just giving the free flowing energy vibes. And I struggled with this kind of like 3D French tip design for quite a while, but I found that it works a lot better if you put the like blob onto the nail first and then you drag it. I always try to do it with the blob on the brush and then like dragging it like that, but I don't know why, I just couldn't get that to work for me. So I find if you struggle with that, I find that this method works a lot better. I just clocked that I have the clips in this order because I'm doing, well, also the way that I made it was doing all of the 3D gel stuff and then what needed the chrome going on top, I did that afterwards. So we're going back to the other nail, but I swear it makes sense because it was 3D gel. But we're going on with that isolated chrome that I was talking about onto the buffed background. And as you can see here, the chrome is going on where I buffed it, but it's not going to stick like so. And if you are struggling quite a bit with isolated chrome, don't worry, it's really tricky to get your head around. I've only just like, I am confident with it now, and I've been attempting it for, God, I don't know, like it's probably at least 3 or 4 months, if not longer. So if you're feeling a bit disheartened because you can't get your head around isolated chrome, I that wasn't the words it was meant to be, but you know what I was meant to be saying. Isolated chrome. Do not be disheartened. Keep pushing on. I know it is disheartening, but you'll get your head around it eventually. When I'm doing this kind of design in particular, I do like to go in with the cat eye again once I've done all the isolated chrome to make sure it pops and that you can see it properly through the 3D gel that you put on top so that it actually looks kind of like a gem. Looking at these clips, I think I did the cat eye and then a top coat and then the 3D gel, or that was just the bottom one and the top one. But you only need to do the 3D gel if you have, like me, a no wipe one. Oh, I'm excited for this nail. The constellation nails on my zodiac sets are always some of my favorites because they always end up looking so pretty, and I love a little celestial vibe. I'm an absolute sucker for it, which is why you will see it pop up. I tried to like diversify a lot this past year, but if you notice, I tend to gravitate towards like adding little stars and everything places. It's because I am obsessed with the celestial vibe. So these constellation nails, I always add like some pretty little stars around them, and I do it in cat eye, and then I use a gold chrome gel to connect the stars in the constellation, and it just looks so pretty. I have a constellation necklace. I have different celestial themed jewelry. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Oof, this nail gave me some trouble. Well, not trouble. I am a big perfectionist, right? It ends up leading to me, end up taking a long time. I feel like that wasn't English. Ends up leading to me taking a long time to do things because I'm being a perfectionist about it. But then also, if something feels like a little off, I have to fix it. It's why I believe so much in my product being so good, because I I I can't let any little kind of imperfection or anything. I can't let it go, okay? And with this now, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it an imperfection. So to round off my babbling, this is meant to be a stamp. And I use a stamp because, again, like I talked about earlier, the traveling, the free spirit, all of that, I thought a stamp is a really good way to kind of reference to that. And I decided to mix it with the more drawn symbol, like just the arrow that's meant to represent the sign. I thought perfect, 2 in 1. It's going to look great. And then, so you can see here, I did it white and then with the gold chrome gel. At the very end of the video, you will see me go back to this nail and change the background to blue because I was looking at the set as a whole once I finished it, and it had been bugging me for a while, and I tried to get over it. I was like, it was just because it was a lot brighter than other things on the set, and I was like, it doesn't look bad at all, but I couldn't let it go, so I ended up having to change it. So me and that nail had beef for a while, but I fix it in the end. Here I'm doing that N and S that I was talking about, just to make sure that it looks like a compass. Oh, I forgot about this now, to be completely honest with you, and I love it. So if you didn't know, Sagittarius's ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter is often associated with luck. It's kind of one of the bigger things that it's associated with. So I wanted to reference that a few times. I did it in a couple of different ways, and this is the first one. I really hope I did like a little bit of research on this, and I'm pretty sure it's not linked to like a closed practice or anything. But basically, I looked up luck symbols, and the one that I was doing is like a witch's luck symbol, as much as I could figure out. And I thought it looked really cool and it went with the vibe, so I decided to add it into this set. When I was just looking at this clip just then, when I was speaking, I was trying to figure out when there was a straight line down the middle of the nail that I was talking about. And I realized there isn't. This is another nail. We have moved on. And we've moved on to the bow. So there's the symbol that I was talking about earlier that I put on the stamp. So, like, just the little drawn one. So, this for Sagittarius, it's the arrow. And then there's what the sign is represented by, I guess. correct me if in the comments if I'm wrong. But Sagittarius is represented by the archer, which is typically as now I struggle with this word. I'm going to preemptively say I know I'm not saying it right, but centaur, the horse person thing is represented by that. And they're the archer with the bow and arrow. But I also wanted to do the bow and arrow separately on its own little nail. And I don't know if you noticed, but I also, I'm not sure if I've already put it in the video or not, but I do a little flame above it, like a flaming arrow. Again, because fire. Now, you might be wondering, what the hell are those random little red blobs that you are putting on the nail right now? They are, oh no, I'm gonna, chrysanthemum? Why can I, no, it's not chrysanthemum. Those are like the sticky uppy ones. These are, I feel like it begins with a C. Let me go look. I have it written down somewhere. Okay, it doesn't begin with a C, but I think the chrysanthemums are also to do with like December, or they might be November, or just Christmas. But these ones are called anthurium. There we go. If you can't tell, I'm really knowledgeable about plants and flowers, and I really, really know what I'm talking about here. Now, I also know there is variation in the flowers that are associated with the different signs, but I've typically been going for the one that I see is most common or most popular, unless I think it looks absolutely atrocious with the rest of the set, then I might choose another one, but I don't think that's happened yet. So these are the ones that are most popularly associated with Sagittarius. And at first I was thinking with the red clash with the orange on the other sets. But I think this nail, this design really kind of like pulled it together in some ways. I don't know if it was also the green, but I'm really happy with how this turned out and how it looks with the rest of the set, despite my worries. Oh my god, I didn't realize how much footage I have of just me painting these flowers. But to be fair, they were very detailed and they did take me a long time. And I think here, yeah, you can see it a bit better here. I'm doing the shading on the leaves. So I've gone in with like mid-tones, dark tones, light tones. And then I've already done that for all of the actual flower petal bits. So it takes a little while. And this is me doing the cat eye stuff. See, I do actually organize them with logic. The reason I didn't show the flame was before when I was doing the bow before is because it was cat eye and I did it with the rest of the cat eye stuff. There is method to the madness. I just guess I forget about it. Although I feel like this does move on quite smoothly from the bow because I have moved on to painting the centaur horse person thing. The archer, but the full version with the horse body and the human. I don't know why I've said that so many times. With this, I wasn't sure entirely whether I was going to try and do like realistic shading or not. And last minute, I decided to do it all with tones of blue. And then I did add in gold details, which I ended up really happy with. But you can see it kind of taking shape here. I just kind of sketched it out. And then again, just like the flower thing, like I'm not a teacher, right? I'm not very good at explaining things necessarily. And I don't know how else to explain like the way that I paint these things other than lots of layers. I go in with midtones and then dark tones and then light tones, and then I just keep doing layers until it looks good. It's kind of ironic because I do often do videos trying to teach people and help people learn to do things, but I don't think I've got an innate ability for it. That being said, for this, I did lots of layers and I went in with midtones and dark tones and light tones until it looked good. And then I went in with the gold chrome for the actual bow bit again, tried to make the shape of it look similar to the other one to tie everything together. And I went in with more little stars and well, they are just lots of little stars, but I did them in gold instead of cat eye this time. Again, just little creative decisions that I make along the way, and like a lot of it just goes off vibes, honestly. Oh, this is fun. We've got more painting, and I guess for you that means more art teacher Isa. I will see if I can actually think of something useful to say that would help with this. But basically what I'm doing here is like a mini Bob Ross painting. And again, with the really helpful advice, I just kind of did this because I used to follow a lot of Bob Ross videos back in the day when I did art GCSE and A level. And I have always been really into art, and I just enjoyed spending my free time like that. So I have done quite a few Bob Ross style paintings over the years. So honestly, I just kind of went into autopilot for this. I was just like, well, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's just on a smaller scale. But one thing about this one that I did want to specifically note, you can see me doing the fill bit here. Now, obviously, a lot of it was just lots of like little dots, but you might be able to see if you look up close at the like where it's bigger at the front of the nail. It's actually a field of four-leaf clovers because of the look link with Sagittarius. And I thought, oh, that was just, I wanted to do a scene like this because adventure travel, blah, blah, blah. I feel like I'm a broken record with some of these things, but I wanted to do the scene, and then I thought of combining it with the four-leaf clover for the look thing. And I was just like, I'm a genius and very humble. Oh yeah, I was gonna try and tell you guys something useful. So, with the layer thing, I said to do lots of layers. Specifically for doing it on nails, do lots of thin layers, because if you're doing lots of layers, you don't want it to look all bumpy and weird. So you're going to need to do lots of layers. So therefore, do them thin. I hope that's helpful. I feel like it's not that helpful, but I tried. Okay, I tried. And we must be coming to the end of the set, because this is what I was talking about, where I changed the background from white to blue, and I got the idea actually from the Centaur Ultra thing that I did. I decided to do it the same shades, well, shade-ish, same polish of blue. And we certainly are getting to the end, because I am now doing the top coat for everything. And as you can see here, when I have different 3D elements, I do tailor doing the top coat in different ways around it and on it, to make sure that everything looks shiny and beautiful. And this is a little close-up of the entire set. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe.